Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, how's everyone doing out there today? Hope you're all doing well. Thought I'd make a quick little video here. Didn't have time to really get in the studio, even though I'd have preferred to do it that way. But I think we'll get to the points just fine, having to do it this way. So, yes, if you notice, my eyes are red. But no, I'm not high. Okay, this is this lovely cold that Snowmageddon in South Carolina gave to me. And then we might have another round of it coming in on Friday. Yay! Definitely, I think if we do get it, it ain't gonna be as bad as what we got this past Sunday, though. I had to get out there and shovel all that crap out of the way. Got all that cold air down in my throat and my lungs, and now I'm sitting here, sniffling and tearing up like chicks that watch soap operas or something, right? And there's probably people like, oh, Lone Wolf caught Omicron. He finally got COVID. Oh no. Look, I ain't even taking the fucking test. I'm not taking that shit. If it feels like a fucking cold, I'm treating it like a fucking cold. I mean, if it's got the symptoms of a fucking cold, why am I gonna shit in my pants? Like, oh my God, I caught COVID now. Like, the fuck that shit. Get the fuck on somewhere for real. If this is what COVID is reduced to, the pandemic is fucking over. It's over. It's over. As long as this shit is like a cold, I'm going to treat it like a cold, and I will get through this. You know what? I'll do you one better, because I'll build back better. I'll be stronger than ever by the time I get done with this. But on another note, give a shout out to my man Franco from Frank Analysis. I was on his show a little while back, and, I should really fucking learn. Because I do it because I know, like, Franco reads chats from people, right? And I know he typically tries to read super chat, but he can't get super chats on YouTube anymore. Because YouTube took away his ability to make money. Isn't that a little, bitch move, YouTube? And then didn't even pay the guy for the tips he'd already earned, and they just hadn't sent to him. They just said, no, fuck it, you don't get that either. That's lovely. But we were talking about small business, because me and Franco used to talk about the third-party stuff all the time. Without going too deep into that, I think me and him both have gotten to a point now where we don't look at just voting for these third parties like the ultimate solution anymore. First of all, I'm not seeing where any of these parties and the people making the decisions inside these parties have their fucking head on straight, where they're going to be doing something that could really lead to some change. And I've said this multiple times. You don't build the house from the top down. Why is the focal point just on the presidency? When Jesse Ventura ran years ago, he ran to be a mayor first, but a governor, state level. But he didn't start as being the governor. He started by being a mayor. Now, that might not be the bottom of the totem pole, but he also had a celebrity star, factor behind him as well. Okay? And I've said this a lot of times. If these third parties want to really start shaking up the power structure, start running for some of these smaller offices and but the problem is, when you start putting all your attention there and they figure it out, they're going to start funneling money to stop you at that level. It's got to be swift. It's got to be quick. And I just don't think they're competent enough to get a ball like that fucking rolling. Not at the time being. I hope something like that could come along down the line. And so that's why I'm not giving up complete hope in that. But I recognize that it's probably a fool's errand to put all your hopes and dreams into fixing our country and putting all your eggs in that basket of, well, third parties are going to do it for us. Might not be a good idea. You might get highly disappointed. So Franco, and I've heard Steve Porkina say it a lot too, you ain't going to vote your way out of this, okay? a lot of these guys have been advocating, more, getting out there and letting your voice be heard in ways that doesn't go just to a ballot box. Okay. They reference, different things regarding how the elections work, who's in charge of them, and they raise valid points. So, general strikes, striking to get better working conditions, slow production down to a grinding halt until they're forced to have to work with you. They can't get workers right now because of what's happened with COVID. Look what happened to wages. Now, to be fair, inflation fucked up any raises a lot of people got too. But take QT. I don't know if any of you know what QT is. QT is a pretty large gas station chain, and they've really started opening up a lot in the southeast. And they are like a fancier version of Spinks or something. They've really got a lot of stuff inside. So it's like gas station Walmart, basically, right? And a lot of people go there. And I remember a few years back, they were paying $15 an hour starting pay. Now, hey, it's busy as hell, so you're working for that money. But a month and a half ago, I stopped in one, and the sign on the door, hiring at $19 an hour. That's a $4 an hour jump. I mean, hey, that ain't bad. Now some people might say, well, $19 still isn't a lot. Hey, in South Carolina, you make pretty damn good money. You making $19 an hour. Okay. Me and my wife are not that far out of that pay bracket right there. And we have 3-bedroom house, multiple cars, pets, land, just bought a building that I'm going to be putting a studio in. I mean, hey, if you're making that kind of money here, you're not too bad off. I can tell you that, okay? You're making enough, you can survive, okay? But someone in that chat, when I talked about saving the small business and things that you could do, is trying to, if you can, buy local. Buy from mom and pop shops. Buy from small business. Buy from the people who literally live amongst you. Two things caught my eye in that chat, and I guess I was triggered by it. I put out a tweet on Twitter, but I think when you hear what was said, you're going to be just as confused, pissed, and in a way, want to laugh, probably just like I did when I read it. The first thing was me saying that a big part of why these massive chains have the power they have today is because the middle class, the little guy, was not thinking things through when they started giving Walmart most of their business. And that in a way, it's kind of our fault we don't have as many of these competing chains anymore, because we helped put them out of business. Now, hindsight's 2020. I'm not saying they realized it at the time, but some dude in the chat was like, I had to leave the minute Lone Wolf started bashing people with no money. What the I ain't bashing people with no money. And that kills me, because that ain't the first time I've ever heard someone say that shit when I'm talking about this issue. And it fucking makes me go bonkers every time fucking. So me telling you that the middle class got duped and that they gave their money to the rich and powerful, things that the dupe part, I'm giving them the benefit of the fucking doubt on. I'm saying they were duped. I would hope that most people didn't fucking do it. No, fuck the middle class that I'm a part of. I'm going to give my money to millionaires and billionaires because I just want to be a fucking cuck to them. The fuck, man? I'm trying to give people like me and my ancestors that were in this world before me that were part of the middle class the benefit of the doubt and say they didn't realize what the fuck was going to happen. Maybe because the way our system has been working in politics has been trying to get people to become disenfranchised and to not think that far ahead about shit like that down the road. The middle class has so many other fucking problems to worry about. They didn't think about the long-term repercussions. Ultimately, what they thought about was how great one-stop shopping is. Woohoo! A lot of people do. That ain't bashing the middle class. That is a prime fucking example of a dumb fuck hearing exactly what they wanted to hear and not what was being fucking said. But that was the less one. Like, that is just shit, right? Here's the one that fucking killed me. This is the one I had to make a tweet about, okay? So, someone said, oh, and by the way, a few people was like, I don't take my advice from Masons. Going down that whole conspiracy theory rabbit hole, Masons this. He said it in the live chat, then he said it in the comments on one of the videos, and like, Masons this, Masons that, Mason corrupts, Masons control, blah, 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 blah. And I asked the motherfucker, I'm like, what do you actually know about the Masons, man? Like, tell me something you know that I would know, so that I know you're in on the secret, right? I don't need to do deep research. You can literally watch videos from the History Channel, and it'll tell you everything that you need to know. The History Channel. Oh, okay. Hey, man, I can appreciate the History. I watch the History Channel. But guess what? Because I watch the History Channel, because I'm a history guy, I know that it is still fucking TV. It is TV, motherfucker. Are you serious right now? What? You just fucking exposed your ignorance. It is TV, son. You know what TV does? They try to produce content like clickbaitish bullshit. Ooh, I want to hear this. You mean the same History Channel that talks about ancient aliens? Or maybe the same History Channel that talks about conspiracy theories. Ooh. That same History Channel. So everything you see on TV, namely the History Channel, gotta be true, right? They wouldn't throw no flavoring in that at all to make somebody watch it be like, ooh. And obviously you wouldn't know if any of that stuff really pertains to what we do or not without joining, unless some Mason's gonna break his oath and just fucking tell you what they do. But I'll tell you this. This is what I can tell you. And that's why I told that guy, I'm like, okay, so we corrupted the Pope. He got that from the History Channel, by the way. Like, we were corrupting the Vatican. I'm like, okay. So I'll make sure to tell everybody next time I go to the business meeting, when we're talking about when we're going to have our golf tournament this year, and the proceeds from that will be taken up to help support the Shriners Hospitals for Children. Or maybe when we sell Boston Butts this year, or we do our Pizza Inn fundraiser, and we take that money up, and then at the end of the year, we give it to local charities. Though we were giving it to a veterans home there for a while. The veterans home had a change of management that's not really running it very well. Now we've switched it up. We give it to PS I Love You, a local charity that helps with orphaned children. Okay? So I'll make sure I tell everyone, because that's about 99% of what we talk about at these meetings is how we're going to help the fuck community. I'll make sure to tell everybody that while that all sounds well and good, what we're really here for, boys, is to corrupt the fucking Pope. I'll make sure I let them know that, because I'm glad you educated me on that little fact. You know, here I was thinking we're sitting around like a bunch of grown-ass men voting on stuff to help. Little did I know we cared more about what the fuck the Pope thought. I'm glad you told me, man. But then now we get to the good one here. This guy complained about small businesses and said that why should we support mom and pop shops who only wanted to pay starvation wages pre-pandemic? Why should we support them? They did nothing for us. Fuck them. We need more worker-owned co-ops. Bravo, motherfucker. Bravo. I mean, that was, oh, fucking wonderful. Okay. How you gonna get those worker co-ops? Sure, if you work on that and they're working and they're doing well, kudos to you. I'm not against that. But fuck the mom and pop shops. Oh, because they paid starvation wages pre-pandemic. Okay. So let me get this straight. Fuck them. We need to keep giving our money to the rich. We need to keep giving our money to Amazon or Walmart. Millionaires and billionaires. I definitely said if you could buy, and some people were like, oh, we don't have an option to buy from anybody else. Oh, I ain't gonna tell you to fucking starve. If you don't have an ability to buy local produce, hey, do what you gotta do. You gotta survive. I clearly said if you have an option, and you can. I'm not gonna ask anybody to starve themselves or go beyond their means to try and do something. Do what you can. But if you're not even willing to do that, why are you here? Just a bitch? You realize doing a real revolution takes a little bit of self-discipline, right? Like, what the fuck do you think's gonna happen? You're just gonna bitch about it in a live chat long enough and shit's just gonna fall into place and change? Nah, it ain't gonna fucking work that way. Never. Ever, ever, ever. A bunch of soy boy fucking online Twitter warrior chat room shit ain't gonna fucking change the way this country's working right now. If you don't have the fucking stones, if you don't have the fucking cojones to get out there and try to do some shit and make this shit change, the fuck do you think's gonna change? Hell, voting ain't changing. What makes you think your little fucking damn online keyboard warrior ass is gonna change anything either? That ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. Okay? So, don't support mom and pop shops. Well, if the worker co-ops aren't there yet, where the fuck am I supposed to spend my money, motherfucker? Please, explain that to me. Because the very thing that's putting the mom and pop shops out of business, I thought were the very type of people you didn't fucking like. Millionaires, billionaires, rich and powerful. So let me get this straight. Two people are paying starvation wages. One is a guy kind of just like me. He's probably a middle-class guy. He just has his own business. He's trying to make a living too. We'll get back to that part in a minute about making a living, by the way. Okay. His competitor drives a fucking Mercedes. Or better. He owns a nice house on the nice hill. He eats steak dinners whenever the fuck he pleases. He's probably got a wine cellar. Oh, and he probably makes massive political campaign donations. In other words, he can buy off politicians. Now, the other guy, he ain't got that kind of money. So he don't have that kind of influence. Which means he can't get those sort of political favors. And because that guy still paid starvation wages, so let me get this straight. Y'all got a problem with me bankrupting people to make change, so surely your advice can't be to just buy nothing. What do you tell people, to starve? What do you tell people? Don't go buy clothes? You tell people not to go buy the things they need? Don't go look at a flea market for your tools before you have to go to Lowe's or Home Depot like I have? You can find people selling little drip. Now, it might have came from Home Depot still yet, but guess what? Somehow those people got it. I'm giving that money to them. I'm giving that money to them. They needed to sell it. I needed to buy it. Here's the money for it. Instead of going in there and buying more from fucking Home Depot. If I can do that, I'll do that. Okay? Produce. They sell all kinds of vegetables and shit at the flea market. Locally grown. Let me tell you something, man. They fucking grow that. They can grow their stuff, buddy. Let me tell you. Hell, I don't know what the hell they feed them damn chickens, but them eggs. Fuck, son. You ain't gonna buy no eggs like that in the store. And I don't even eat eggs. My wife does. But I can look at them and tell, like, there's some big damn eggs. The fuck is that, ostrich egg? You know? But you don't want me to give my money to those people. And I'm gathering you don't want someone to just starve and die. So give it to who? Rich and powerful? I thought you didn't like those people. Why should I give more of my money to the bigger fucking threat? Because both of them might be paying low wages. And we're coming back to that, by the way. We're coming back to that whole low wages thing. Both of them are paying low wages, but I'm supposed to give my money to the bigger fucking threat? The one that's buying off politicians? The group that's been buying off politicians for years? The group that has the most power and influence to control what we now live in, which is a fucking oligarchy? I should give my money to Jeff fucking Bezos? Are you serious? You think I should give my money to them before I give it to a mom and pop shop, someone who lives in the same communities as me, right here amongst me, and invest back into my own people? Whether they be white, black, brown, Asian, whatever. Okay? You know, right here where I live at, you've got white people. Predominantly in this area, you've got white people, black people, and Hispanic people. There are a few Asian communities around here. But they own a lot of stuff. You're telling me I shouldn't invest back into the people I fucking live amongst before I should just go to a big fucking chain and give my money voluntarily back to a lot of the same groups and entities who are responsible for a lot of our problems today with their lobbying and their bribery and their bullshit. Wow, that's a fucking progressive idea. I've never heard of the amount of progress you could get from that. I mean, hey, I think things would change next week if we all just spent our fucking money at Walmart. We might get Medicare for all at that fucking point. We would all get living wages. Our problems would be fucking solved, right? That's fucking stupid. Stupid. But why do mom and pop shops have an issue paying starvation wages? Well, let's examine that for a moment. Before these big chains came along, there were still always people who lived in poverty. Now, that's true. There's never been a time where everyone was well off. But there was a time when most people were better off. They weren't as far in debt. They didn't live a luxurious lifestyle, but they did make enough money that they could make ends meet without having to go on the government dole. Where did they fucking work? Walmart wasn't around, and they're not paying worth of shit either. Now, in my neck of the woods, I've talked about this before, textile was a big part of the South. A lot of people worked in the textile mills, or textile industry, as we call them, cotton mills. Okay? A lot of people worked there. But there were mom and pop shops too. People were able to get these jobs, make a little bit of money, and make a living. This is where competition comes into play. They had to do what they had to do to stay in business. The reason they're paying a lot of what they're paying today all comes down to costs. Okay. So you've got supply and demand, right? Because I'm going to have to take, if there's some people who are watching this, and for those that already understand, bear with me. We're going to make sure that anybody, like the gentleman in that chat, I'm assuming was a gentleman. If I misgendered, I am sorry. Think it was a guy. Whatever. Okay. Point being, we're going to educate some folks here. My libertarian friends are going to love this, right? Supply and demand. If I want to sell something, I got to buy it from the people that made it. I got to get it into my store. Each place it has to go to get from where it was made to my store, there's a shipping cost that comes to each of those places. So from where it was made to where it first went for storage or whatever, there's shipping fees, okay? Each time that happens, I still got to make a profit. So what I'm having to pay for it to get to my store, I got to upcharge that to a certain extent so that I make money. If I don't make any fucking money, I don't stay in business. Now here's where things become dicey, okay? Big chains move in that have become big chains that are owned by people who are fucking rich. Loaded rich, right? You know the fucking type, okay? They move in, and guess what? Now, they got the money to lowball the fucking competition if they want to. And if they really want to put you out of business, they will. They will. Okay? They will sell their stuff a little bit cheaper. And there's more shit there. It's one-stop shopping. Why do you think Walmart literally advertises like everyday great prices? They're trying to lowball competitors. Why? Because the Walton family don't pay shit for wages and they got an ass of fucking money. So they've got the money, they can do this shit. Not only that, they can buy the supplies in bulk. Now, mom and pop shop ain't got a store the size of Walmart. You know why? One, he didn't have the money to have one built. Two, they don't just build them that way and lease them out. It's probably a little small store. Most mom and pop shops are. Unless they've got what you would call a franchise, chain store, which is like part of a chain, but they bought the rights to own it. Now you might have that, okay? But ultimately, a lot of these small mom and pop shops, the people that live amongst you, franchises might even be pushing it a little bit. I don't think the average middleman can just afford to do franchise stuff, right? A lot of them are just small local business owners. They don't have that kind of money. So the reason one-stop shop took over is because of the appeal. It was convenient. You get everything you need in one trip. You didn't have to make multiple trips. You save on gas. The prices were a little bit cheaper. Oh, this is fucking wonderful. This is great. I'm saving more money at the end of the day. That's what people thought about. They undercut the competition. The people can't stay afloat. They went out of business. Furthermore than that, anybody that's had to buy stuff knows a lot of times when you buy in bulk, you get discounts. So if I'm ordering a lot more supplies of these products to fill up my store, I could be talking to those manufacturers and getting deals cut so that I'm not paying the same price for them that the small competitor is, who can only have so much shit in his store. He don't have the room. She don't have the room. Where the fuck they gonna put it all? You can't do it. So when they're ordering supplies, they probably get a discount because of how much of it they fucking buy. Okay? So that means when the mom and pop shop tries to get the same thing potentially, they're having to probably pay more for it to get it, which means they still got to upcharge it from there to turn a profit. Well, okay, so now the customer is having to pay more for it. The customer is having to pay more for it now. To a lot of customers that just aren't thinking about the bigger picture here, I don't want to pay more for it. I can go to Walmart and get the same thing. Why the fuck does it matter to me? Well, because you're not supporting your own community anymore. You're giving your money back to the rich and powerful that ultimately, if we had a conversation about them, you don't fucking like them. You're just not thinking about it that way. So ultimately, that's why a lot of those small chains went out of business. Now, not only that, but as more of them fold from pressure from, in the old days, it was the big brick and mortar stores. Now Amazon's just fucking crushed. Hell, they're giving Walmart a serious fucking run for their money. Okay? Because they don't even have to have store space. You just fucking get on your smartphone, order your shit. Only thing they gotta have is the warehouses to ship the packages around and shit, right? They got one right down the road from me. Okay? They're taking over the game. Brick and mortar's having a lot of trouble. Look at all the stores that have folded in the last year from COVID alone due to this pandemic thing, right? Just seriously, stop and take a look at that. So the fact that they're having to pay more to get it now, that's causing higher prices at their stores. A lot of customers don't think about the bigger picture. It costs more. Why would I buy it there? I still have to make multiple trips. I'm not going to do it. It puts them out of business that way. Now let's get to that little wages thing. Again, they got to be able to make profits. Now, the way they've already fucked up people's incomes, you can't hardly buy a damn thing. The dollar has been destroyed. It doesn't go as far as it used to. Inflation has fucked up our dollar. A lot of these small chains have been put out of business. The few that are left are damn near in survival mode. Seriously, they really fucking are. They are. Okay? And so, understand, it probably ain't a job you can make a career out of, but it would be a good job for some high school kids, maybe some college kids or whatever that are just trying to work something casually and still be able to go home and keep up with their studies or whatever, right? It'd be a good job for people like that. Okay? You know, you don't have to buy a house yet. Those are the kind of job, like, you shouldn't be probably looking at that kind of a job because of what it pays and saying, I want to make a career out of doing that. No, you should be pursuing something else. Let that help subsidize you till you get to where you want to go in life. That's the way to look at that situation. But ultimately, they got to factor how much they can afford to pay people because of how much they're probably taking a cut to keep the prices as low as they can fucking keep them already because of what they're dealing with the fucking competition out there. If they went above and beyond to say, we're going to pay our people $17 an hour to work here, they'd probably go the fuck out of business. They go the fuck out of business because no matter what the fuck they're paying the worker, if the prices for the shit on the shelf, and to compensate that, they'd really have to fucking raise the prices. But if they didn't raise the prices, they wouldn't turn a fucking profit. Probably wouldn't. Does that mean all of them? No, but we're talking about these small. I'm not talking the franchise stores anymore. Again, I'm talking about the people that seriously own true small business that live amongst me and you. The people that used to make up Main Street, the people that used to make up the majority of the stores in this country, as Alan Jackson said, before the big money shut them down and killed the little man. These are the people. These were our fellow brothers and sisters. These were our citizens. These were our people that lived amongst us, that fought the same struggles we did in many fucking ways. They were relatable to us as middle class people. So I'll come back to it. The reason they're not able to pay better wages is because they're in this price competition with people who have way more money, way more power, way better influence, way better deals to get the supplies in the stores, and are able to price drop them to really hurt that fucking small business owner and price gouge the hell out of that competition. And the only way that small mom and pop shop person has an edge to compete with them is if they're literally able to just make the products on their own. That ain't really the case unless it's produce, farmers. There's difference. Now, that's one area where you can buy, if you can buy locally, and you don't really have to worry about price gouging, or higher prices because of the competition. But just saying that they're doing that because they're malicious, well, maybe some are, but you're missing a lot of, what do they say? Nuance. It's missing a lot of context. It's missing a lot of other surrounding details. And so again, I'll ask the question, if you think the small mom and pop shops are such bad fucking people, who do you propose I give my money to instead? I know you said worker co-ops. They're not around yet. They're not around yet. And until they are, I got to give my money to somebody. So give it to who? The rich? Seems like that's part of why we're where we're at now. Now, continuing to do the things that have gotten you to where you're at now, I don't know about you, that doesn't strike me as a very smart idea. I think someone, was it Einstein, said it best? Continuing to do the same things over and over and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. People have already called me crazy enough. I don't need to be called insane too. I don't know about you. But let me know what you guys think. Who should we be giving our money to? The rich and powerful? Or the people that literally live right amongst us in our community that are just trying to make a living themselves? Who should we give it to? Worker co-ops aren't here yet. Maybe they're at where you're at, and hey, if they are, by all means, give your money to them. But if they're not, and you've got the ability to possibly drive a little bit further, maybe afford a little bit higher price, who should we give our money to? Should we give it to the rich? Should we give it to the Walton family? Should we give it to the millionaires and the billionaires? Or should we give it to mom and pop shops? And by the way, I'm not crying because I'm emotional. This is fucking cold shit. Good Lord. God, I'm tired of this shit. Oh, man. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Drop the comments in the comment box down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hope everyone's taking care out there. Again, if you're living in my neck of the woods, hopefully this snow ain't going to be too bad, but you never know. Brace yourself. Make sure you're prepared for it. See you next time right here in the Lone Wolf Podcast. Take care, everyone.